Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from Canto 2, Chapter 9, titled Answers by Citing the Lord's Version, text number 32. Yavan aham at yatha bhavo. Yavan aham yatha bhavo. Yadrupa guna karmaka. Yadguna rupa karmakaha. Tathaiva tattva vijnanam. Tathaiva tattva vijnanam. Astu te mad anugrahat. Astu te mad anugrahat. Yavan aham yatha bhavo. Yadrupa guna karmakaha. Tathaiva tattva vijnanam. Astu te mad anugrahat. Yavam aham yatha bhavo. Yadrupa guna karmakaha. Tathaiva tattva vijnanam. Astu te mad anugrahat. Yavanaham yatha bhavo. Yadrupa guna karmakaha. Tathaiva tattva vijnanam. Astu te mad anugrahat. Yavan, as I am in eternal form. Aham, myself. Yatha, as much as. Bhava, transcendental existence. Yat, those. Rupa, various forms and colors. Guna, qualities. Karmakaha, activities. Tatha, so and so. Eva, certainly. Tattva vijnanam, factual realization. Astu, let it be. Te, unto you. Mat, my. Anugrahat, by causeless mercy. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. All of me, namely my actual eternal form and my transcendental existence, color, qualities and activities, let all be awakened with you by factual realization out of my causeless mercy. Okay, so the purport is 2.5 pages. So we'll just start reading the Bhaktivedanta purport. The secret of success in understanding the intricacies of knowledge of absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is the causeless mercy of the Lord. Even in the material world, the father of many sons discloses the secret of his position to the pet sons. The father discloses the confidence unto the son whom he thinks worthy. An important man in the social order can be known by his mercy only. Similarly, one must be very dear to the Lord in order to know the Lord. The Lord is unlimited. No one can know him completely. But one's advancement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can make one eligible to know the Lord. Here we can see that the Lord is sufficiently pleased with Brahmaji, and therefore he offers his causeless mercy to him so that Brahmaji may have the factual realization of the Lord by his mercy only. In the Vedas, also it is said that a person cannot know the absolute truth, personality of Godhead simply by dint of mundane education or intellectual gymnastics. One can know the supreme truth if one has unflinching faith in the bona fide spiritual master as well as in the Lord. Such a faithful person, even though illiterate in the mundane sense, can know the Lord automatically by the mercy of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita also, it is said that the Lord reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone, and he keeps himself concealed from the faithless by his Yogamaya potency. To the faithful, the Lord reveals himself in his form, quality, and pastimes. The Lord is not formless, as wrongly conceived by the impersonalist, but his form is not like one that we have experienced. The Lord discloses his form even to the extent of measurement to his pure devotees, and that is the meaning of Yavan, as explained by Srila Jiva Goswami, the greatest scholar of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord discloses the transcendental nature of his existence. The mundane wranglers make mundane conceptions of the form of the Lord. It is said in the revealed scriptures that the Lord has no mundane form. Therefore, persons with poor fund of knowledge concluded that he must be formless. This cannot distinguish between the mundane form and the spiritual form. According to them, without a mundane form, one must be formless. This conclusion is also mundane because formlessness is the opposite conception of form. Negation of mundane conception does not establish a transcendental fact. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord has a transcendental form and that he can utilize any one of his senses for any purpose. For example, he can eat with his eyes and he can see with his leg. In the mundane conception of form, one cannot eat with one's eyes or see with his legs. This is the difference between the mundane body and the spiritual body of Satchidananda. A spiritual body is not formless. It is different type of body of which we cannot conceive with our present mundane senses. Formless, therefore, means devoid of mundane form, or possessing a spiritual body of which the non-devotee can have no conception by the speculative method. The Lord discloses to the devotees his unlimited varieties of transcendental bodies, all identical with one another with different kinds of bodily features. Some of the transcendental bodies of the Lord are blackish, some of them are whitish, some of them are reddish, and some of them are yellowish. Some of them are four-handed and some of them are two-handed. Some of them are like fish and some of them are like lion. All these different transcendental bodies of the Lord. Without any differential category, any disclosed to the devotees of the Lord are disclosed to the devotees of the Lord by the mercy of the Lord. And thus, the impersonalist false argument claiming the formlessness of the Supreme Truth do not appeal to a devotee of the Lord, even though such a devotee may not be very advanced in devotional service. The Lord has unlimited number of transcendental qualities, and one of them is his affection for his unalloyed devotee. In the history of the mundane world, we can appreciate his transcendental qualities. The Lord incarnates himself for the protection of his devotees and for the annihilation of the faithless. His activities are in relationship with his devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of such activities of the Lord in relationship with his devotees. And the non-devotees have no knowledge of such pastimes. The Lord lifted the Govardhan hill when he was only 7 years old and protected his pure devotees at Vrindavan from the wrath of Indra, who was overflooding the place with rain. Now, this lifting of Govardhan hill by a 7-year-old boy may be unbelievable for the faithless, but for the devotees it is absolutely believable. The devotee believes in the almighty potency of the Lord, while the faithless say that the Lord is almighty but do not believe it. Such men with poor fund of knowledge do not know that the Lord is the Lord eternally, and that one cannot become the Lord by meditation for millions of years or by mental speculation for billions of years. The impersonal interpretation of the mundane wranglers is completely refuted in this verse because it is clearly stated that the Supreme Lord has his qualities, form, pastimes, and everything that a person has. All these descriptions of the transcendental nature of the personality of Godhead are factual realization by the devotees of the Lord, and by the causeless mercy of the Lord, they are revealed to his pure devotee and no one else. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Vadagamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahaganam Tam Sajivam Svadutam Savadutam Prigana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Shrita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vasya Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanang Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kaviviriritam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatakam Bhuvi Ginnati Devhurida Jana Bhuvi Ginnati Devhurida Jana. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, we are just in the brink of entering into the Chaturshloki Srimad Bhagavatam. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9, Canto 2, Chapter 9, 33, 34, 35 and 36 are the Chaturshloki Srimad Bhagavatam. So, basically what does it mean that in that 4 shlokas, The entire gist of Srimad Bhagavatam has been given by the Lord. We know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the concise summary of all the Vedas and Upanishad and the Puran, and these 4 verses are the summary of Srimad Bhagavatam. So from tomorrow it will start. So in this verse, we see that the Lord is pleased with Brahma, and He's happily providing the knowledge, and it's actually lots of truth and principles of devotional service. So He is revealing to Lord Brahma. So it's not like the knowledge He's just getting, it's actually revealing in His heart. So there is a difference of getting the knowledge, where we go and we sit down in a place and we receive the knowledge. So that is a way of getting a knowledge. Another way of getting a knowledge when the knowledge reveals in the heart. And that's actually the higher way of actually getting the knowledge. And here, this knowledge is revealing in Brahma's heart. So some of the points in this verse that has been discussed, that Lord actually doesn't disclose this knowledge to everyone, right? So the example here given is for a father, right? And if we see like a father, in the Vedic time, the landlord or the zamindar of a place, right? So they are the landlord of the area. So they are wealthy and they have their family, and in the family succession, they rule over that region. So it's not like a king, but they're landlords. So often it seems like often it had that the landlord has multiple sons, multiple sons and daughters, because they have many wives. So it's not like that every of his children are worthy of taking up his position as a landlord for future. So there are some sons who actually are there, but they don't have direct connection. They just come to their father for just some material things. They know that, my father is a rich man. I'll just go to my father and I'll ask for something. I need this, I need a car, I need this. So that is one. The sons, group of sons who are there, who lives off the father. They are using all the utilities, but at the same time they don't take care of the father. They're just saying, okay, I'm his son, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all the facilities here, but I'm not I don't have any relationship with the father. I'll just use it and then I'll go away. So it's kind of a parasite, the parasite which lives in your body, takes all the things from your body but doesn't give back anything. And then also there is the other sons who are close to the father because they really love their father. And the father also can feel that loving exchanges. So usually it's either the elder son or the younger son. I'm not saying generalizing, but it's most of the time it was the case. Either the elder one or the younger one. And whom they've had this really affectionate kind of relationship. And those sons, like the father, then they groom those sons to be the worthy successor of him. So he used to tell them that, okay, now, this is how I rule. This is the way that you should also take care of all these things. So he gives, and this is where I have kept all the money. He gives all those, information to those. The other sons, when they come to the father and say that, hey, why you are giving it only to them? Why not to us? The father says, even if I give you the knowledge, you will not be able to use it because you will not understand it. So that's the point. So here, the Lord, so in that anecdote Srila Prabhupada mentioned about the father, similarly, the Lord is also our Parampita, right, So he is also the father, it's in Bhagavad Gita 14.4, the Lord says that, Aham bija pradaya pita, right? So similarly, if we see from that part that there are 4 different categories who comes to the Lord and asks for something, or expects something. So the first one comes and asks for all the materialistic kind of opulences. So that's the karmis. They work and they ask for the Lord, okay, please give me opportunity so that I can enjoy all this kind of materialistic, all the sense gratification and everything. But to be honest, they actually don't know, what's actually the object of pleasure. They actually think whatever they are getting, they think, oh, this is something that I can enjoy. But they don't know. Give you an example. Suppose, the new iPhone 12 is coming, right? And suppose you get that phone, right? Someone give it to you. And you got the box, and within the box there is the iPhone, right? And you open the box, you take out the iPhone, and said, I really like the box. The box is really nice. I want to enjoy the box. I don't want to enjoy the phone. Because you don't know that the phone has much more feature, it can give you much more pleasure, but you don't know. You just get attached with that box. So that is with the karmis, although they want to enjoy, but they don't know what's the point of, what's the object of enjoyment. By doing what, they will get more enjoyment. They don't know. So that's why they try the wrong things. And that's why getting more frustrated, and that's why they again come back and said, okay, please, I tried, it didn't happen. Please, bless me. That is something. Then the next one is Gyanis. What they do, they acquire all the knowledge. They say, okay, I need to know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, that's good. Then they go, they read all the books. But ultimately, their motive is not to know about the Lord so that they can surrender to the Lord. Rather than they want to know about the Lord so that they can put their supremacy over the Lord. So they can say, okay, I have read all this book, and my interpretation of this is this. So my interpretation of this Bhagavad Gita is everyone is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is God. I am also God. And I am giving you the knowledge. So please listen from me. So they are kind of the parasite that we said. They feed upon the knowledge which the Lord has provided, but to actually go away from the Lord, or take everyone away from the Lord. So that's their motive of doing it. And then the third, we have the yogis, right? So they are a little bit more intelligent than the karmis. They also ask for different things. And for different things, they do lots of austerities, right? They do all the sadhana and all this tapasya for years and years, so that they can walk on the water, so that they can fly, right? But ultimately, again, they are also not gaining the ultimate, ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal of the life? They are again going for some other really, where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that, they are very much absorbed in enjoying those special powers, mystic powers that they get. So in that case, they understand that the iPhone is the thing to enjoy. And they take the iPhone and they sit down and they play with it. But still, they're not saying, it's not the box, it's not the iPhone. But all of them are temporary. These will break. So I don't have anything to do with them. But they don't understand that. So ultimately, that's why with these 3 classes, the Lord, even though they approaches the Lord, and Lord gives them whatever they want, but He doesn't reveal Himself to them. So that's the important point, that He doesn't reveal, the knowledge. They are trying to come and try to get something. They are seeing the Lord as like an order supplier. Okay, I want this. Okay, you take it. But that the most confidential knowledge is not getting revealed to them. Because then there is this 4th one, who are the devotees. And the devotees actually come, they don't expect anything from the Lord, rather than that, please give me your service. I want to serve. These other 3, they don't have any concept of service. Like, their thing is like, I'll be doing something, and in return I want it. So whenever there is a expectation of getting something back, it doesn't remain as service. It becomes a deal. So I'm doing something for you. In exchange, I'm expecting this from you. It's a deal. But service is, there is no expectation. I'm serving you. Okay? So that's why the devotees here, their full attention, that all they want, that I want to serve the Lord. And that's why the Lord is very much attracted towards the devotees, because it comes from the heart. It comes from the heart. It's heart to heart. And when that happens, the Lord gives Himself to the devotees. Whereas if it comes with some motives, then actually it irritates Him. Like, and He says, okay, take it. You want it, take it. Because whenever there is some kind of motive, so that's why it's very important in our devotional life, if whatever we want to do, it's very important to remember, if there is any motive, even it's showing that, okay, I'm doing something to serve the Lord, but there is some motive behind, that will never be fulfilled. That will never give any good result. So that's why it's a very it's very important. Lord is always, He's very merciful. He will give away whatever you ask for. He will give away to you. He is a loving Father. But ultimately, is it going to do any good for you? So we see the example of Ashwatthama. So one time Ashwatthama came to Krishna and said that, Krishna, I want to exchange my Brahmastra with you, with your Sudarshan Chakra. And Krishna, the Pandavas was there, Krishna's sons were there. Everyone, Krishna said, oh, how wonderful. No, none of you ever asked me for this. Look at Ashwatthama, he's a son of a Brahmana. He's asking for my Sudarshan Chakra. Yes, please, take it. And he just gave his Sudarshan Chakra to Ashwatthama. And the Sudarshan Chakra went, and it was circumvallating Ashwatthama. And Ashwatthama was trying to catch it, and he couldn't hold it. Because obviously there is a specific way that you have to hold it. And he was trying to hold. And then the chakra just fell on the ground. And Ashwatthama said that, okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll keep my Brahmastra, you take it back. I don't want to, he came to know that he will not be able to use it. Right? But the point here is he asked for it, and this is one of the weapons that no one we see that will be able to use it except Krishna. But he himself okay, give it to you. But then after that when Ashwatthama was about to leave, Krishna asked, want to ask you, why did you want it? You have Brahmastra, it is quite powerful. It is as powerful as to destroy this universe. But why you needed the Sudarshan Chakra? Then Ashwatthama's answer was, I wanted it because I want to kill you. Because that is the only weapon that can kill Krishna. And then it's wow. And that is the motive. Even the Lord, Krishna already knew that why he wanted it, but still he gave it to him. But he couldn't handle it. Right? So that's the thing, when someone, have this motivated, some kind of motivated, they wanted to have something which to please them, even though it will harm the Lord. None of us have that capability to harm the Lord, but that is the intention of it there. Even the Lord will give it to them. So that's why the Lord feels more pleasure when He sees the devotee, where devotee is calling Him, rather than a non-devotee. Because obviously non-devotees will call, he will still come as a loving father, that example of that landlord. He will still look after the sons. He will not abandon them. But he knows that this son will not give me anything. But still, that is not my role. As a father, I have to take care of all of them. But when he sees that his most precious child is calling him, he feels really happy. So, and that's where the Lord reveals the confidential knowledge to this, those precious sons, the devotees. And then we call them, those devotees are Mahatma. So the Mahatmas. So Srila Prabhupada actually gave the definition of Mahatma as someone who stopped service to nonsense and gives service to reality. That is the definition of Mahatma. So stop service to nonsense and give service to reality. Krishna is a reality. So a devotee, that's why a devotee is like a Mahatma. He's 100% committed to Krishna. And the Lord also, when Lord sees that, Lord always reveals himself to that devotee. No matter what. And when that revelation happens, it's just so wonderful. We just see in the pastimes of Vasudev, the leper, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he went to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a leper, and he has his body was totally it has kind of a thing that it was so much bad odor was coming out from his body. Nobody wants to go near to him, right? And even it was given the description is there was living the worms was living on his body, eating his flesh. And sometimes when the worms fall off of his body, he used to take off that worm and put it back and say that, okay, they are there to do something. So anyway, he went to see the Lord, but the Lord left. So by that, because he couldn't walk properly and all those things, he reached there in afternoon. The Lord already left in the morning. And when he saw that when he came to know that the Lord already left, he just closed his eyes and he became unconscious. And he was saying that I just had only one chance to see the Lord, I couldn't. And then he's from his heart he was calling the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he already went so far and he heard that, that call of Vasudev. And then he came back. And then Vasudev, he regained his consciousness and he saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is standing in front of him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced him. Now, even the doctors or even the most sinful persons were not coming near to this person. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he embraced him. And obviously, after the embrace, what happened? Vasudeva, leprosy is gone, that we know, but he got a celestial body. But here is the very important thing. After he got this celestial body, he didn't actually become happy. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita is so wonderful to read and understand. He then prayed to the Lord that my dear Lord, why did you give me this wonderful body? Now it will give me more and more, I will use it and it will give me more for my pleasure, materialistic pleasure, and it will give me false pride. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Vasudeva, you know what you should do to get rid of the false pride? Always chant Lord's name and always distribute. Always engage yourself in the devotional service. This is if you remain in this state, then there will be no false pride. So, and that's where it is also mentioned that devotees whom we see that they are devotees, but they have these earthly, they are rich, they are famous, they are beautiful. That means these devotees have extra the mercy of the Lord, because the Lord knows that they are humble. The humility, because all these things when comes, the humility goes away. That's the biggest danger. So that's why the Lord gives only to them who actually can handle them and remain humble. And because only in that stage, the Lord, when the humility is there, Lord reveal himself to them. If the humility is not there, then it's false pride. And whenever this false pride is there, then this heart-to-heart relationship, the love will go away. So that's what we are saying in this verse, that it's just on the brink of we are starting, and then Lord actually then reveals more and more about him to that devotee. So in this next 4 verse, Like, Lord is also very humble. But he is telling Brahma this, I am that. Like, he is starting telling in this next 4 verse. It doesn't mean that Lord has pride, but he is giving more and more knowledge. He's revealing more knowledge to Brahma, that what his actual position is. What his actual position is, and then he is also tells that what his devotee's position is. And then the ultimate thing, who is higher. That's how Lord actually gave that in this next 4 verse. So we'll read it in this next 4 verse, the wonderful part of Srimad Bhagavatam Chaturshloki. So on that note, I'd like to end here. Ganthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jai. And sorry, I forgot that today is also the disappearance day of His Divine Grace Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and whatever we read about that humility, he was like, he was like epitome of that. Like he wasn't a scholar, or he wasn't like he was an illiterate person, but still, by mercy of the Lord, the knowledge actually revealed in his heart, and we know that from his life.